I spent most of my life believing something that nearly destroyed me, that if I just worked harder, longer, sacrificed more, then one day money would finally respect me and life would reward me for it. But at 85, I can tell you with a heavy heart, the world lies to you about hard work, and the truth is far more bitter than anyone is willing to admit. I remember being a young man, full of energy, full of belief, waking up before the sun, coming home when the streets were already quiet, my hands always tired, my mind always occupied, but my heart always convinced that I was doing the right thing. I told myself, this is what a good man does. He works, he provides, he sacrifices. And I did for decades. I missed birthdays, I missed dinners, I missed the small moments that now feel like they were the only moments that truly mattered. But at the time, I couldn't see it because the world kept whispering the same promise in my ear. Work harder and everything will come. You see, nobody tells you that hard work by itself is not the path to wealth. It is the path to survival. And sometimes, not even that. I worked with men who were stronger than me, smarter than me, more disciplined than me, and they worked just as hard, sometimes harder. But they didn't become wealthy. They became tired. They became replaceable. They became forgotten. And I watched it happen over and over again, but I refused to believe it, because if that wasn't true, then what was I working so hard for? So I kept going, chasing something I couldn't even define. I thought money would come if I deserved it, if I proved myself through effort. But money doesn't care about effort. That's the truth that hurts the most. Money doesn't reward how hard you work. It rewards how valuable you are and how replaceable you are not. And nobody teaches you that when you're young. They tell you to stay busy, to stay obedient, to keep your head down and grind. But they don't tell you that the system benefits from your exhaustion. Because a tired man doesn't question things. A tired man doesn't take risks. A tired man doesn't build. He only survives. I remember one particular night I came home late again. My wife was sitting quietly, not angry, not shouting, just quiet. And she looked at me in a way I didn't understand back then. There was no complaint in her eyes, only distance. And she said something so simple, it barely sounded like anything at all. She said, "You're always here, but you're never really here." I didn't understand it at the time. I thought, I'm doing all this for you, for us, for this family. But now, at 85, I understand exactly what she meant. I gave my time to work and gave what was left to the people I loved. And what was left was not much. You see, the world teaches you to exchange your life for money, hour by hour, day by day. And they call it responsibility. But they never tell you that you're trading something you can never buy back. Your time, your presence, your youth. And the cruelest part, when you finally have the money, you no longer have the life to enjoy it. I've seen men retire with full bank accounts and empty hearts. I've seen men finally slow down, only to realize they don't know their own children. I've seen men sit in silence and surrounded by everything they worked for and still feel like something is missing. Because money was never the thing they actually needed. It was just the thing they were taught to chase. The real truth, the one that people avoid, is that hard work without direction is just slow self-destruction. You can spend your entire life climbing a ladder, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. And by the time you see it, you don't have the strength to climb down and start again. I'm not saying don't work hard. No, hard work has its place. It builds character, it builds discipline, but it is not the destination. It is only a tool. And if you use that tool blindly without understanding where you're going, you will build a life that looks strong from the outside, but feels empty on the inside. I wish someone had told me earlier that being busy is not the same as being valuable. That effort is not the same as progress. That sacrifice, without awareness, can quietly steal everything from you. I spent years thinking I was moving forward, but I was just moving, running without direction, working without thinking, giving without realizing what I was losing. And the system, it loves that, because the more you believe in pure hard work, the less you question how things really work. You never ask, why am I still stuck? You just ask, why am I not working hard enough? And that question will trap you for a lifetime because it keeps the blame on you instead of making you see the truth that sometimes the path itself is the problem. I remember a man I used to work with. His name was Kareem. He wasn't the hardest worker, not by a long shot, but he understood something I didn't. He used his time differently. He learned, he observed, he took risks I was too afraid to take. And I used to think he's not serious, he's not disciplined. But years later, he was free, and I was still working. That's when it started to hurt in a way I couldn't ignore anymore. Because for the first time, I saw the difference between working hard and working wisely. And I realized I had given my life to effort, but never gave enough thought to direction. You don't need to kill yourself to succeed. You need to understand where your effort actually matters. Because if you put all your energy into something that can replace you tomorrow, then no matter how hard you work, you will always stay one step away from being forgotten. That's the part nobody tells you. Loyalty to the wrong thing will cost you everything. I stayed loyal to work, thinking it would stay loyal to me, but work doesn't remember you. The moment you stop, it replaces you, quietly, without emotion. And life moves on as if you were never there. That realization, it breaks something inside you. Because you start to see how much of yourself you gave to something that could never love you back. And then now you look at the people you ignored, the moments you missed, the life you postponed, and you realize that was the real cost. Not the hours, not the effort, but the life you didn't live while you were busy trying to earn it. If I could sit across from my younger self now, I wouldn't tell him to stop working. I would tell him to wake up, to question everything he was taught about money, to understand that income is not the same as freedom, that being busy is not the same as being successful, that working hard is not enough. I would tell him, learn how money works, not just how to earn it. Learn how value is created, not just how effort is measured. And most importantly, don't wait until you're tired to realize what truly matters. Because time is the one thing you can never negotiate with. It doesn't care how hard you worked. It doesn't care how much you sacrificed. It just keeps moving. And one day you look up and there's more behind you than ahead of you. And that's when the truth hits you quietly but deeply. You didn't need to work harder. You needed to see clearer. So if you're sitting there still young, still full of time, don't just ask yourself how hard you can work. Ask yourself what you're working toward. Ask yourself what it's costing you. Ask yourself if the life you're building is one you'll actually want to live. Because one day you'll be sitting where I am, looking back. And I promise you, the question won't be, did I work hard enough? It will be, was it worth it?